What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. Let's talk media. So this week I watched Cocaine Bear, and it's pollen season in Georgia, and pollen is a powdery substance that gets into people's noses and makes them act crazy. And you know what else makes people act crazy? A cocaine. And it was a really good time. I really liked this movie. I thought it was hilarious from beginning to end. The humor was a little bit campy, and it was a little bit of a ridiculous plot, but come on, if you get on board with this thing, you're gonna have a good time from pretty much front to finish. So it's directed by Elizabeth Banks, and you get some pretty stellar performances by Isaiah Wilson Jr., who comes through and is the scapegoat for the whole damn machine. We got Jesse Tyler Ferguson. So if you're a fan of Modern Family, you're gonna know who he is. He has a really gruesome death. It's really funny. Margot Martindale comes through as well as a park ranger trying to actually hit on our boy Jesse Tyler Ferguson, and it's pretty funny. The plot, their little subplot going on, little love plot, is pretty funny. And she also has a pretty gruesome, completely preventable death based on the scenarios that they were in, because why would you strap yourself to a gurney? Why would you get strapped to a gurney when there's a bear chasing you? That doesn't make any sense at all. O'Shea Jackson also does a really good job as David, and I really like how he's come along as an actor. I thought this was pretty funny. Comedy is hard, and I thought they did a really good job throughout the movie, actually kind of hitting right on those jokes. I was laughing so much. There were definitely a few times when there were jump scares, and you could tell this was a horror movie, but kind of like Evil Dead was a horror movie. It might have been intended to be very scary, but it wasn't super scary. In this case, it was just funny throughout. Ray Liotta also comes through and shines as a drug kingpin. There aren't a ton of scenes with him in the movie, but his character is necessary. He does maybe get a little played out as I'm the bad guy at the end of the movie, keep finding the bad stuff. But other than that, I thought he also did a really good job, and rest in peace to Ray Liotta. You know, we all miss you, man. I definitely also have to make sure I give some shout out to Christian Convery, who played Henry, and Brooklyn Prince, who played Dee Dee, but especially Henry's character. That kid was hilarious. Talking about hitting the pitch for being afraid and also hitting those jokes with that comedic timing that typically you would only see from someone who's been in industry for like 20 something years. Really quick high level plot. So it's super simple story-wise. There's a drug ring that's throwing duffel bags full of cocaine out over Blood Mountain, Georgia. I'm right here in Georgia, which is awesome. So a little bit north of me. I've been there, I've hiked that mountain, and it's hilarious to know that this was a story I had no idea about until I saw and heard about this movie. But they're throwing the duffel bags full of cocaine off all over the Chattahoochee National Forest. A bear gets a hold of it, starts to eat the cocaine, and basically starts to go on a killing rampage in both hilarious and horrifying manner. It is pretty funny. There isn't a ton of time with the bear, I will say that. There's probably maybe a third of the movie or less where you actually get to see the bear. You can definitely tell this is a CG bear, so I don't know if there was maybe a low budget or something like that, but they did a really good job when he was on screen, or when she was on screen, actually. That gets talked about a little bit later when Alden Ehrenreich's character Eddie gets laid on by the bear. It's an interesting situation. If anything, there's a lot more human stories in this movie than I anticipated, but I think that considering that we needed to fill like an hour and a half or so runtime, we had to have some more characters in here, and that was pretty funny. The bear goes on a rampage and interacts with everybody. It's either completely murdering people or just chasing after kilograms of cocaine. And when I say kilograms, this bear is eating a ton of coke in this movie. There's some stuff going on. Some kids run across some cocaine. They find it. The bear finds them. They run up a tree. Jesse Tyler Ferguson's character has that aforementioned crazy brutal death here because he's supposed to be an expert. I mean, he's supposed to be an expert, and he climbs up the tree. The bear almost gets the kid, but instead gets him. From there, Isaiah Whitlock Jr.'s character, who is a detective, is trying to find this drug ring's operation. He technically doesn't have jurisdiction here because he's a Tennessee cop, but he finds himself in Georgia. I don't know if there's actually some real credibility to that aspect of the story. I don't think so. But he finds himself in Georgia. Long story short, he gets betrayed by one of his own police force people. Ray Liotta shoots him in the gut. He's being being funny the whole time. He gets stuck on top of a gazebo, and I legitimately was laughing very loudly in the theater. I'm pretty sure the teenagers next to me got a little annoyed as they drank their tall boys. Everyone is chased into the forest. The night has fallen on them, so they get stuck in a cave. We find some cubs. The cubs have also found some cocaine, and they're doing some cocaine. Ray Liotta's character is obsessed with getting it back for good reason, because he's tied to a drug cartel or something like that. So that's kind of the character that he gets to play, this, oh man, I'm the really bad guy, keep going for the drugs even though this is a completely and utterly dangerous situation, like we shouldn't be dealing with this bear. And he ultimately also meets his demise in a very, very gruesome way. I'd say on the ranking of demise, he's got probably number 3. Again, I thought this was a really good movie. It's one of these movies that I think right now is getting some mixed reviews because some people are trying to take it too seriously. To me, this was a good pastime. I'd watch this on a Friday night with some friends, or if it was on TV in the background, I'd probably let it play out because, again, it was hilarious. This was one of those films where they focused in on the comedy with periodic jump scares, with periodic horror, because there aren't a lot of murder bear movies out there, I don't think. At least I haven't been watching murder bear movies like that. Maybe there's a whole volume of murder bear movies and I just don't know about it, and maybe I'm about to have my horizons expanded. Maybe this is a pivotal moment in my media consumption career. Wow. Anyway, in 20 years, this is going to probably be a cult classic, right? Something that we'll look back on and probably start to notice the genius of Elizabeth Banks. She knows how to take a movie that could fall flat on its face comedically and actually make sure that it soars. And I think this movie did really well. They probably had a low budget, but considering they had a low budget and otherwise a pretty stellar cast, it was really fun. I would give Cocaine Bear 8 gers out of 10. Definitely go watch it. Appreciate you guys stopping by the channel again. Hilarious movie. Go check it out. Let me know what you thought in the comments. I'd love to know if you also know about some other murder bear movies. Again, I don't really know if there are that many, or if there are any at all that don't involve maybe Liam Neeson. Alright guys, again as always, thanks for stopping by the channel. Take it easy.